before. I can't take it anymore. Watching Smackdown live on Tuesdays with the Choppin Roll Express, and we are never going back to TNA.
Hey, look at that right there. It is a new Filthy Four Daily song from our good friends, the B-Plus Players. They came through, Tom. They came
Finally.
through. Yeah, we buried them last week for not coming through, and then I got the email like right after the show went off the air, and then I felt terrible. I mean, I never bury them, but you do.
You just admitted to it.
Well, I said the royal we, not necessarily me. Hey, what's going on over there?
Nothing.
I'll tell you what's going on over here. They cleaned my carpets. So if you
Is that a euphemism?
No, I wish it was. You can hear this loud machine outside probably right now, those of you with good hearing. I've got everything that was on the floor of the studio is now on this desk right now, so if you just hear an enormous crashing, clanging sound, that something fell down. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but...
Did you see the people that are doing this job?
Yeah, I've been here all afternoon.
You sure? You're sure it's not King Orca at your doorstep?
Get out of here with this King Orca.
Rattling everything?
I've told you this before, Tom. They're a matriarchal species. It would be Queen Orca.
Yeah. So, no. There's King Reina in Japan and Ryzen.
What?
There's a woman named King Reina. She's
Okay,
one of the top female stars.
the top orca is not... She was named... You know what you want to know, Tom? I'm going to quiz you here. Let's see how much you've been paying attention to the Whale Scout podcast. The head matriarch...
I tried to hold it in, man.
The head matriarch of the southern resident killer whales off the coast of Washington passed away recently. She was I can't even remember how old she was. Well over 100 years old. Do you know what her name was, Tom?
Whitney.
Granny.
No.
I swear to God.
Of course.
Yep, she'd been known as Granny for years and years and years.
Well, what else was it going to be at this point?
Well, King Orca, apparently, if you'd been in charge of naming them. Hey, listen, we got a lot to get into today. Let's not waste time.
King Orca's not the oldest matriarch, just the most dominant.
I see. We got Smackdown. Yeah. We have... You know these male whales travel with their mothers their entire lives? There is no King Orca, okay? It should be Queen Orca. Now.
All right, whatever.
So... We got Smackdown here, we got the Choppin block, and we have the sponsor game, whatever you want to call it. What do we call it? We don't even have a name.
We don't have a name.
Yeah. Sponsor review. WWE corporate sponsor review. Should we tell everyone what it is now or wait?
It's not like a mystery.
I did already reveal it on Twitter. It's Snickers, everybody.
Oh! I can't believe you said that.
But little did I know, Tom. This is what we won't tell them. There's more than one Snickers. There's a variety.
You don't say.
And so we will surprise everybody. You don't know which ones I ate. I don't know which ones you ate. We'll tell everybody at the end of the show. It's going to be very exciting. But in the meantime, let's do SmackDown.
Okay, SmackDown Live. Opened up with a Undertaker video package that Byron said... Oh, wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
Ah, shit. Oh, my notes are mixed up. We had Charlotte versus Becky. Later on, after this debacle, there was an Undertaker video package.
Do you write these on paper like Granny and you just get your notes mixed up?
Yeah, no, I scribble them in the bathroom wall.
Oh, well,
that
explains the acoustics of that room you're in. Go ahead.
So, this match did not do it for me early on here. It kind of picked up later on with Becky hit a rolling short arm scissors off the top rope, turned it into an arm bar. They battled for a while, then Charlotte was able to lift her and counter with a seated powerbomb. We went to commercial, and as we come back, Charlotte goes for a figure four. Becky boots her into the post and grabs her belt and tries to leave. This match, one of the stipulations was, it was a title match, and if Becky was disqualified, she would lose her title because she disqualified herself at Super Showdown over the weekend. So Becky tries to leave, and Charlotte does not adhere to this plan, throws Becky back inside, where Becky kicks Charlotte in the back. Charlotte goes into the ref. The ref then turns around, sees Charlotte on the ground, sees Becky with the belt, threatens to DQ her. And I don't know why, because, I mean, if he would have DQ'd her, she would have won. Charlotte runs up and instead rolls her up. This apparently stops all of the issues that the referee had with Becky possibly hitting Charlotte with the belt. This like ends that whole thing. He counts 2. Becky gets up, hits another roll up. She gets 2. Charlotte hits her with a spear. Becky rolls back outside. Charlotte follows with a moonsault that misses. Becky lands a Bexploder on the floor. She goes inside, trying to win by countout. Charlotte gets close to getting back in. Becky goes over to stop her. Charlotte pulls her out. She lands an Exploder suplex on the floor. Throws Becky in, hits natural selection. Becky rolls outside. Charlotte gives chase. They fight on the outside until the referee calls for a double count out. This match is over. Becky tries to retreat up the ramp, but Charlotte rushes her and spears her into the LED light set up on stage.
I gotta talk about this match for like an hour, but I'll try and keep it to like a minute. So, like Tom, first couple of minutes of this match I was not enthralled by. I thought it was clumsy. Thought they didn't look very good. But then it did pick up. And I thought by the end it turned into a pretty damn good match with some problems. One of the problems being that, yes, there was a spot where the ref got bumped. Becky grabs the belt. He wakes up, he sees her with it. And listen, everybody. The ref has decided that he is going to DQ her, okay? It's not like he's considering it, but she's arguing it, and he's not quite sure. No, he looks at her and he says, I saw you with that belt. You can't do that. Like, it's over. And he turns, and he starts walking, and he raises his hand to yell at the timekeeper to ring the bell, okay? Charlotte, like an absolute idiot, runs up behind her and rolls her up. And then the referee, like an absolute idiot, decides, well, I gotta count the pin. No, dude, you decided that this match was over. But like a fool, he goes and he starts to count, and then she kicks out, and then, yeah, it's over. Like, there was a full reset at that point.
Okay, Brian, I know you're not, like, big into sports, but can you imagine if you're watching a baseball game and the referee gets into an argument with one of the players, the umpire, and he's about to throw him out, and the manager from the team comes over and kind of gets in the way? No, that guy's still going to get thrown out. Just because you intervene doesn't stop the preceding action.
Well, I'll give you another one. How about in a UFC fight, if there's a guy and the referee, he's getting, let's just say you're on the bottom, Tom. I'll put you on the top so you're not getting screwed. You're pounding on Conor McGregor on the bottom. You pound him into oblivion. The referee decides it's over. He waves it off. And as he waves it off, Conor throws on an armbar and submits you, okay? The referee can't decide, oh, well, fuck, now he tapped. I changed my mind. That's bullshit. That's what happened in this match. So then they keep going, and the only other thing that I thought was a bad spot in this match is Charlotte hits the natural selection in the middle of the ring, okay? She turns over to go for the cover, and Becky rolls outside. Now, that's what happened on paper. But what happened in real life was she hits the move, she goes to cover, Becky rolls like 2 revolutions. She's not even near outside the ring. And Charlotte puts her hands on her head, and she can't believe that she got away. And I'm like, she ain't even out of the ring yet. Go get her. But she put her hands on her head, and she watched her roll all the way out of the ring. And I was like, that's what they call mistimed. Anyway, they do the whole thing. The thing through the wall at the end. I know some people hated this finish, but I am a fair man, so let me tell you that when they did a disqualification in Australia, and that led to a match where the title can change hands on a disqualification, and then they did a count out to lead to a falls count anywhere in the building match, awesome.
No,
fine. It's great, Tom. Okay?
It's not
great.
falls count anywhere.
Last woman standing.
Yeah.
All right, well, it's close enough. It still kind of was built on a count out, but... Right? Kind of? Did I just kill my own argument right there?
Yeah.
Anyway.
But it's okay.
Well, you're going to definitely have a finish there. But anyway, I was just happy that one finish led to a more logical finish here on this show.
Yeah, and I didn't want to see a title change anyways. It's too early in this storyline.
Well,
I was scared they were going to do it because isn't Becky has a jaw issue or something?
She's working on a cracked jaw. But hey,
Yikes.
she did a long match here, so I'm sure she can work on a cracked jaw.
Yeah.
But I would expect Charlotte to beat her at Evolution.
So they continue to show the video wall that was recently destroyed by Charlotte and Becky. This, of course, after the Undertaker video package, which must be mentioned again. And they show replays and inform us that Charlotte has at least 3 or 4 severe cuts on her arm. So we then had Jeff Hardy take on Samoa Joe in a Crown Jewel World Cup qualifying match to determine the best in the world.
Mind if I steal a joke?
Go for it.
Tom Phillips shoved it down our throats over and over tonight that the World Cup will determine who is the best in the world. He said this 1,000 times. It was like comedy by the end. It's like, I know they have to brand everything, but this was too much for me. I mean, I swear, near the end of the Randy Orton Big Show match, so you'll have to alert me if I missed anything. I heard it one too many times, and I muted the show until it went off the air. I could not take it one more time. The World Cup to determine the best in the world. I get it. You're mad at Chris Jericho. You don't have to kill me. It's not my fault that Jericho went to New Japan. It really is not my fault that he showed up at All In. So, could you stop taking it out on me and the rest of the viewers?
Do you think in Saudi Arabia that is like promoted as a bigger deal than the actual title? Like, are they like, hey?
Well, it has to be. I mean, they're saying the best in the world.
In the world, yeah.
Yeah, this means better than the Universal Champion, who's a champion of the universe, by the way. So maybe that's why they get around it.
Well, that's only because Galactus hasn't had his shot yet.
And I got to say one other thing, by the way. So I know that I just made that Chris Jericho comment, and I don't want people running with that and saying that I'm reporting that it's called the best in the world because they're mad at Jericho. I have no idea. I have no idea. I know that somebody mentioned it Jericho, and he said he wasn't interested. So obviously something's going on between WWE and Jericho because he's not going there. But what I actually think is happening here, and this is all speculation, everybody, it could be wrong, is that they're getting $50 million per show from Saudi Arabia. And if you actually watch the shows, they are in fact glorified house shows. So I believe that Vince, this is what he's using to, I guess, justify the $50 million to the people in Saudi Arabia. Because the last show was the greatest Royal Rumble. You know what a ridiculous that name that is? I could just see Vince sitting in the office with the Saudi prince and just going, God damn, we're not just going to give you the Royal Rumble, we're going to give you the greatest Royal Rumble. And that's what they fucking called it. Then we've got this show. It's like, it's a fucking stupid 8-man tournament. It's just pointless.
What does the normal World Cup determine? This is the World Cup to determine the best in the world, of the world.
Yes.
It's a cup of the world, so what the hell?
No, that's what he's telling the guy. He's like, listen, damn it, I'm going to give you the World Cup. It's going to be for the title of the best in the world. You're going to get it here in Saudi Arabia. And so on every fucking show, they have to tell us this is to determine the best in the world. And it's happening in Saudi Arabia. They're getting their $50 million worth.
Why does he buy up this interspecies wrestling group?
Give him the best in the fucking interstellar space.
Yeah.
That may be next.
Interspecies.
I honestly, I cannot wait to see what the next Saudi show, what they have on it. Because we've already had the greatest fucking Royal Rumble of all time. We've got a tournament to determine the best in the whole fucking world. With all Americans, by the way. What could possibly be next?
Hell in a Cell?
That'd have to be the tallest Hell in a Cell.
I don't think that's what they'd call it.
The most Hell in a Cell. The hellest of all Hell in a Cells. All right, let's move on here. This match.
All right. Jeff Hardy versus Samoa Joe, World Cup qualifying match to determine the best in the world. We get a video package containing another amazing Jeff Hardy soliloquy, followed by a short Samoa Joe video package accompanied by him talking, and we got sound bites about him. So this was also another feature of the World Cup to determine the best in the world, as they had these little video packages about each entrant before their matches. So Joe opens up with strikes that send Hardy reeling, but he fights back with a drop kick that sends Joe to the outside. We come back from commercial, and Jeff has the finisher from the UFC 229 main event locked in, but Joe fights back with strikes and rest holds. Jeff intermittently fights back and targets Joe's knee. Joe throws Jeff to the outside, misses a kick. After he had thrown Jeff into the steps, he misses a kick and hits the steps, pays dearly for it in the remainder of the match, as the referee actually has to stop the match after a bit more action due to injury when Samoa Joe can no longer stand on his own. Now, I have major issue with this because, Brian, I indeed won a fight with a torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus. I had one leg. Samoa Joe was not afforded that same opportunity despite the fact that he was in control. So Hardy moves on here in the World Cup to determine if he is the best in the world.
I laughed at the finish. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a ref stoppage finish, but like they never do. So it was ridiculous.
Like, out of all the things, Joe just falls down and they call it.
I mean, do you know what Seth Rollins' win-loss record would be if the referee was going to stop the fucking match every time someone's knee went out? I mean, it's ridiculous. But I thought it was a pretty decent little match there, and now Jeff Hardy can go on to World Cup to determine who is the best in the world.
Paige made the announcement that much like in the UFC.
Hold on. Don't jump forward here. Paige is delighted. She's overjoyed. She has never been so happy. Now, keep in mind, what she's talking about here is Becky spearing Charlotte through the video wall, and Charlotte is covered with fucking blood coming out of her wrists, like she tried to kill herself, and there's rubble everywhere. It's going to be thousands of dollars to repair. And Paige is delighted, because she thought of an idea for a match. It's just ridiculous.
The first ever last woman standing match. So Paige, a great promoter, much in the what? I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
I don't either.
Much like Dana White.
Oh yeah.
Things get out of hand after the match between Becky and Charlotte, and look, she announces a rematch for the big money.
She did.
Right there.
And hey, as a fair man, I give him credit. I'm very glad they're calling it a last woman standing match and not a women's last man standing match. That's dumb.
But in 2018, are we sure that they both identify as women?
I don't know.
Should it be last person standing?
Did you see Joe Rogan's Instagram?
Yes, exactly.
Joe Rogan's got this... got this shot up there. Let's see if I can find it here. This is from the, I guess the website is, here it is, the Quality Institute. And basically, I guess somebody had typed in pregnant women, and the Equality Institute alerted them, instead of saying pregnant women, try using the phrase pregnant people, because people of all genders can fall pregnant. Now, first off, I was unaware that I could become pregnant. That is, in fact, news to me. But I guess it's 2018, so I guess technically I should be able to become pregnant now. But I read this to my wife, and she was appalled at the term fall pregnant. Like it's some sort of illness that can strike you. I fell pregnant? What does that mean? Anyway.
Well, maybe you didn't really mean to go, all the way down. And you slid a little bit too far. So you fell on it.
I don't think so, Tom. Miz TV, AJ and Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
So here's the story, by the way, from Australia. The Daniel Bryan finish was not because he headbutted Shelton Benjamin last week. It was not a precautionary deal. It was that they thought we should give him a dominant victory since he is going for the WWE title. So they came up with a 2-minute and 25-second small package, which actually, I don't like that, because the way that WWE books their wrestling, I mean, Miz is absolutely right. It came off as a fluke. It didn't come off as a smashing dominant win. It was a small package out of nowhere 2 minutes in that nobody was ready for. So it felt more fluky than anything else. So I would have rather they did just like a match, and instead of doing like a bunch of near falls, Daniel Bryan just hit him with 5 straight moves after 15 minutes and submitted him. That to me is a dominant victory. Anyway, that's why they did it.
So they had a rather pedestrian interview here. Miz was told to remain professional by Page. And he attempted to derail each man's points by subtly playing them against each other. Neither man really having it, throwing barbs back at The Miz, calling him an unworthy competitor, basically calling him a chump. And then they faced off when it kind of broke down to who truly is the better competitor. Daniel gives a spirited talk about what he came back from injury for, and it wasn't to tag with Brie at Mania. It wasn't to face The Miz. It was to be the champion. Miz, meanwhile, kind of departs from the ring. He's out on the outside. He goes off about how boring AJ and Bryan are. Says his shoulder was up at Super Showdown, that it was a fluke. The WWE Championship has never meant less and does not headline pay-per-views because of the man that holds it, and that is AJ Styles. Then he introduced Shelton Benjamin. Well, he said he's got next. So apparently you could just call your own title shots here. And then introduce Shelton Benjamin to face AJ Styles.
So a couple of things. Miz cuts to this promo, and by the end he's getting cheered. So that was hilarious. And he's basically ranting that he's beaten Bryan twice. Bryan only won via fluke, blah, 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 blah. So
he knocked Bryan out.
That's right. And this was my favorite part. Is WWE always does this. He is scripted to say, AJ, you've got a stupid southern accent. So you know that probably came from Kevin Dunn because he hates accents. He says there's a reason you never headline pay-per-views, which of course AJ doesn't ever headline pay-per-views. So now they're telling us something that a lot of fans may not have even noticed, but now we notice. And so they're painting an actual weakness that the company perceives the guy as having. And then he says he doesn't care who wins, he wants the winner. I just couldn't believe that part of the promo right there. They actually had him say that. But since when is he a booker, by the way?
I don't know. Here at Smackdown, things are kind of running wild. You know, hey, you got Paige in charge. What else do you expect?
So we have AJ and Shelton.
Lives free, you know?
Bryan and Miz doing commentary. I loved it. The highlight of the match was Bryan and Miz yelling at each other.
Well, they argued and distracted from the match at hand. The match went along with trading strikes. AJ went for a Styles Clash. Benjamin just hoisted him up from the ground onto his shoulders into a suplex. Then they fought a little bit more. He landed a leaping knee to AJ, who was attempting to jump to the ropes to springboard in. AJ takes control as we come back from commercial, and he lands some strikes. A clothesline. Crowd does not seem to care. He secures a rolling calf killer. Benjamin gets to the ropes. They batter each other a little bit more. AJ lands outside the ring, leaps to the ropes, lands a phenomenal forearm, kind of out of nowhere, wins the match. Then he hoists the championship belt high above his head, upside down as he celebrates.
Yeah, Bryan at least acknowledged Miz was the best talker in the company. I was appalled. I don't know how he can bypass Samoa Joe like that. Hey, then it's time for One Night in Milwaukee.
Well, there's a Big Show video package, let's not forget, to hype him for the World Cup to determine the best in the world.
Yeah.
One Night in Milwaukee. This was the worst. This sucked. This embarrassed me to be a wrestling fan.
Wow.
Aiden English is made out to be the biggest dork and or thork in wrestling history. Comes out, he's got a video showing Lana clearly not making an advance at him in a hotel room, which he claims has garnered six-figure offers. Bullshit. Lana says she wants him in this video, and then he plays the rest. I believe he played that part last week. Continues to play the video. It says, Lana says, Aiden, I just want you to know how much Rusev and I appreciate you and everything you've done for us, blah, blah, blah. Aiden stops the video. He says, I will continue to show the video, but I have a proposition. So Rusev coming out here. So he wants Rusev to dump Lana, join him once again. Rusev and Lana come out. They tell a now reluctant Aiden to go ahead and play the video. Then Lana says she will show it because Aiden will not. Lana says she will show it because she has hacked his phone due to his password being I heart Rusev. Fucking kidding me? What kind of garbage writing? Are you serious? Somebody got paid to write that?
Yep.
And then Aiden says...
Was it an emoji? Did they spell out heart? Did she mention it was in all caps?
Aiden says that maybe when Lana is done with Rusev, she could have an Aiden night, or Rusev day, I'm sorry. She could have an Aiden night, and then Rusev chases him to no avail. Is Aiden chopped? Because if he's not, he's chopped.
Listen, I told all of you guys.
Oh.
I told everybody that this was not going to be good for anybody involved, especially Aiden. All I had to hear was, I think they're going to do something with Aiden. Oh, this is going to be the best thing Aiden's going to get blah, blah, blah. No, he's a geek. He's an absolute geek in storyline. He's an even
bigger geek now.
He's a total geek in storyline. And again, as much as you hated the segment this week, like what I really hated was, let's go back a week. Exactly like I asked last week. Why was Lana looking so guilty when he started playing this video last week? Why didn't she explain all of this to Rusev then? Why have they not talked for 7 days? It's just ridiculous. It was a great idea, but like they can't write stories. And this was a prime example of that. What a fucking payoff this was. So yeah, Aiden's big push.
Like they pushed him off a cliff.
Yep.
So randomly we find out that Rey Mysterio returns next week and he's going to take on Shinsuke Nakamura in a Crown Jewel World Cup qualifying match to determine who is the best in the world.
Yeah.
That kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, we've known he's coming back.
Well, yeah. But they just threw it in there.
Yeah.
In the middle of the show. Hey, guys. So then we had Big Show take on Randy Orton in the main event in a World Cup qualifying match to determine who is the best in the world. Big Show returning from hip surgery that they attribute to a cage match with Braun Strowman. Big Show's offense was basically revolving around punching Randy Orton.
He actually did have a cage match with Braun, and they did an injury angle, but he needed the hip surgery before the match. That was the cover story, everybody.
Thanks.
I don't want people talking about Braun Strowman needing to be fired because he hurt the Big Show.
So Randy actually hit, I was unbelievable in many ways, hit the draping DDT off the top rope on the Big Show. Then he looked for the running punt kick to the head, which Big Show luckily intercepted with a spear. Big Show then lands a choke slam after corralling Orton, who was trying to leave. Then he signals for the old KO punch, but Orton successfully evades this time to the outside, lands a thumb to the eye that Charles Robinson does not call, leading to an RKO win for the Viper as he joins John Cena, Kurt Angle, John Cena, Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy, and 4 others to be determined later to determine who is the best in the world.
Yes. So this leads us to the chopping block, and apparently there has been some confusion. We've got 2 lists. Dez has one list, and of course Brian Resnick has another list, and they don't match up correctly, actually. There are a couple of disagreements here. Some people that Resnick says are gone who are not, and vice versa. So, according to Brian Resnick, the following people remain unchopped. AJ, Cesaro, Charlotte, Jeff Hardy, Jimmy Uso, The Miz, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, and Sheamus. Now, according to Dez, the remaining individuals, AJ Styles, Charlotte, Chris Jericho, who I think he's gone, so he shouldn't even be on the list. Harper, according to Dez, has not been cut.
I don't remember cutting Harper.
Jimmy Uso, John Cena, although I don't think he counts since he's wherever, and Randy Orton. And then added from Raw, Miz, Jeff Hardy, Samoa Joe, Mandy Rose, he says has not been cut, Cesaro, Sheamus, and Brie, although I don't think Brie counts because she's also a... So anyway, of those names, Tom, no, Aiden English is not available to be chopped. Although if you'd like to give him an honorary second chopping, you're welcome to.
Yeah. After this week's segment, hell yeah. Aiden English, you've been chopped.
Done. Now, what should we do about Harper? He's not on Resnick's list.
Let's keep him.
You want to keep him?
Yeah.
All right, Resnick, you got to add Harper. Put him back on there. So we still have extra weeks left. We don't have to chop anybody today if nobody deserves it. Although, to me, when I look at this list, there is a glaring standout, and that is Jimmy Uso. He's just an island unto himself here. His brother was chopped, his twin.
Yeah, let's do it. Who cares?
All right, Jimmy Uso, you've been chopped. You did nothing wrong, except that you were an Uso
You don't
on
need
Smackdown
to give him like
in 2018.
a rundown. He's out of here. Sorry.
All right, he's out of here. All right, so the remainders: AJ, Harper, Cesaro, Charlotte, Jeff Hardy, Miz, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, and Sheamus. So there you go.
Sheamus.
Yeah, Sheamus. Oh, Sheamus and Cesaro.
Well, yeah.
I know you're thinking of chopping him just because he's Sheamus.
No. Never. Although
All
he
right.
did refuse to take a beer from my buddy one time.
Really?
Well, he said he saw him at a bar and he was like, well, I don't take beers from people I don't know. Which I could see that. It's not the worst thing.
Well, hey, listen, we got some extra time before the food review. So this past Saturday night, UFC 229, you were randomly tweeting profanities after the show. I don't know if you were sober or not, half asleep, what the situation was, but it was a load of bullshit, Tom. That's
I don't
what it
know
was.
if you could say randomly tweeting profanities. How random was it? Out of all the things that happened, me tweeting profanities does not need to be mentioned, I would think, on the grand scale of things.
Do you have any commentary on this? People have been dying to hear your thoughts.
Well, I mean, what did anybody expect? This is hardly surprising if you pay attention to the world at all. If you look at it just from a standpoint of a fight between McGregor and Khabib, sure, then you could say, look, there's been words said between parties before, this and that, all right? But it's not the same type of people that are involved. These are two very volatile groups and societies when it comes to their belief systems, and it's not hard to imagine that someone a loud, brash, loudmouth, flamboyant, verbose person from a westernized society would come into conflict with somebody who is of a more conventional and Muslim upbringing, especially the Dagestani culture, from what I've seen, is very, very open to fighting in combat sports. It's something that they pride themselves in. So it's not surprising whatsoever that you would have a fight outside of the cage. I mean, I know that they said that they took extra precaution to safeguard against this, but I mean, they needed more. More needed to be done. And really, where it starts is at the very, very ground level of this. I don't understand how Dana White can say that he has no regrets about what happened. That just shows what kind of a promotion, what kind of a promoter the UFC is, if they have no regrets after this situation. There's no steps being made or taken to safeguard against people getting hurt in the Conor McGregor Dolly situation. I mean, there's multiple people whose lives were changed, probably for the worse, because of that incident. We had fighters that were pulled out of fights, big-time fights, that could have changed the course of their career, and now forever, for the rest of their lives, they're going to have to live with that. While this guy got no repercussions except for being given a bigger a big payday in the end. So really, the fault, lies on the UFC. I don't understand how anybody could think that anything besides this was bound to happen.
Well, I don't know what to add. Looks like they're facing some sanctions from the Nevada State Athletic Commission. I'm sure they will be severe.
Oh, yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Such as what? What do you foresee coming in the future?
I'm absolutely joking, Tom. Obviously, they're not going to be
That's what I
severe.
thought.
Are you kidding me? Although, hey, as stupid as it sounds, I do have to give the Nevada State Athletic Commission credit for one thing, and that is the fight, the brawl happens. They let Conor go home with his check because they thought he was innocent of any wrongdoing. Then there are a bunch of fan videos that come out that show that, in fact, he jumped up on the cage. A guy from Khabib's team jumped up on the cage. Conor took the first swing at that guy. They get in a kerfluffle, And then another guy from Connor's team jumps the fence and goes after Connor. So Connor, in fact, instigated a part of this here.
Well, I mean, it's a wild melee. I don't know if you can...
Well, the point is they saw that footage and they decided, you know what? We actually probably do need to talk to Connor as well. So he's not off the hook. So I got to at least give him credit for that. They let that fucking guy go completely scot-free on Saturday night. Like he'd done nothing.
They didn't need to talk to him before that, before he broke into an event and hurled an object at a bus and screwed up a card.
Yeah, it wasn't
The
Las
commission
Vegas.
didn't need to talk to him. It doesn't. I don't give a shit.
What do you want me to, what do you want me to
fuck?
say?
Why the fuck could I fight for 2 years if that's the case? What? No commission's gonna uphold another commission sanctions, but they're gonna uphold USADA. Like, give me a fucking break. Come on.
Hey, by the way,
You shouldn't give the guy a license in the first place. You think I could show up to some podunk event in Kansas, Missouri or something and start throwing shit around in the back and then it's going to get out and I'm going to get a license in another place to fight? Hell no. Come on.
somebody asked, by the way, why do sometimes folks get 1 year suspensions and other times they get 2 years? It depends on the substance, correct?
Correct.
Yes. That's the answer to that question. Tom got flagged for Austria.
Sometimes it also depends on how much money you have in your own bank.
Well, it always depends on that, Tom. If you're rich, then you don't get much of a suspension. If you're not rich, you suffer. You suffer for not being rich. You're in this Ultimate Fighting Championship.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, John Jones fighting at the end of the year, by the way, Tom.
Yes, for the light heavyweight title.
Yeah. Yeah, he's coming off his drug suspension. He got off with 18 months for his...
Didn't Dana White once say he would never headline a pay-per-view again?
Yeah, well, things change, Tom.
Couldn't trust him. Well, but you know what? I guess the arbitrator said he's trustworthy. So.
Yeah, but that was before we found out they only tested him once. So I'm sure Dana's quite confident he may not be tested at all prior to that fight. So what are we worried about here? All right, let's talk about Snickers. That'll cheer us up.
Go for it.
Did you know, Tom, these are the available brands of Snickers, everybody. There is the original Snickers. There is Snickers Almond. There is the Snickers Crisper.
Yes.
Which delivers crispy satisfaction with a combination of crisp rice.
I wonder how many of these I can name off the top of my head.
There's only a few more.
Okay, well, there's Snickers Peanut Butter.
Yes.
There's, there's quite a few other ones, actually.
Okay, so let me finish, Tom, since you failed.
Well, because
to name the
I'm
rest.
trying not to give away the ones that I had.
I'm just going to tell you all of them here, and then we'll get going.
There's dark chocolate Snickers.
They don't list that here on the official Snickers site. They have Snickers Intense Flavor Bars, espresso, fiery, and salty and sweet.
Which is what I had.
All right, well, would you like to go first, my friend?
There's also Snickers Extreme.
I did not know that.
Yes. It's in a yellow package.
Oh, there's 3 new ones, too. Creamy Snickers Almond Butter, Creamy Snickers Peanut Butter, as we talked about, and Creamy Snickers Maple Almond Butter. Ooh. Are you aware of that?
No.
Would you like me to go first, Tom, or would you like to?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. You know they have a gallery of these Snickers as well.
Like, it's a place you can go visit? Because if so, I will.
There's photographs here.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, so first off, I do want to say that I could not find a ton of different Snickers flavors because I don't even know why. I went to like 3 stores and they had a very limited selection. They don't have around here, they don't have that candy bar aisle anymore.
Where'd you go?
I went to Fred Meyer, I went to Safeway, I went to QFC.
You gotta go to the gas station.
Oh, damn it.
Are you kidding me?
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I will say that I tried 3 flavors, Tom. And there were 2 flavors that I didn't find, but upon reading about them here and listening to you, I wish I could have found them. One is the dark chocolate Snickers. I am a huge fan of dark chocolate. I'll go down to the Safeway and I will get a bag of organic dark chocolate covered almonds. I'll spend like $55 on a bag of these. And
these were discontinued. I'm sorry.
The cashier looks at me like I'm out of my mind. I would have liked to have tried that. And also, the other one I would like to have tried is the Crisper.
The Crisper's at every gas station going.
I was trying to read this, but you cut me off. The Snickers Crisper delivers crispy satisfaction with a combination of crisped rice and peanuts topped with a layer of caramel and coated in creamy milk chocolate. I may go to the gas station after this show. I've got a hankering now. So the 3 that I tried, Tom, I tried the original Snickers. I am 43 years old, Tom, and since my youngest days, I have loved Snickers bars. It's my favorite candy bar. You know what? I don't even really like peanuts, and I don't even really like caramel. I don't even fucking know what nougat is. But I love Snickers. It's my favorite candy bar. So I devoured that Snickers, and I loved every bite of it. Next up, I tried Snickers with almonds.
Oh.
Now, the difference here is that the normal Snickers has peanuts in it. Now, I'm not a fan. This is the irony, Tom. I'm not a fan of peanuts, but I am a fan of almonds. But ironically, if I'm using this word correctly, I like the regular Snickers with peanuts more than I like the Snickers with almonds.
Wow.
Can you believe that? I'll tell you why. Because almonds are a stronger nut. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay, so when you have a Snickers with a soft nut, it melts in your mouth more. As opposed to the hard nut, it's a little crunchier.
Yes.
So I prefer...
But it's better if you want to lick it.
Well, yes. I preferred the original Snickers over the Snickers with almonds. And finally I chose I didn't choose, it was the only other one there. Snickers peanut butter version. This was not the crunchy peanut butter, I don't think. It was just Snickers peanut butter. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I'm not really a fan of caramel, like I said, but I do like me some peanut butter. But for some reason, whatever it is, the combination of ingredients, I still liked the original Snickers better than I liked the peanut butter Snickers. But the peanut butter Snickers was a close second, and my wife did demand that I give her the last bite of the peanut butter Snickers because she, in fact, also loves them. So it kind of was a little bit like a Reese's peanut butter cup. You know what I'm saying? Just had a little bit of extra ingredients in it. So overall, at the end of the day, my review would be, you can't go wrong with the Snickers. One of WWE's greatest sponsors, the greatest sponsor in the world of the WWE, the original Snickers, still the greatest after all these years. Tom, the floor is yours.
Wow.
Oh, and I got one other thing I'd like to say, by the way. So, you know how when we reviewed Burger King, I noted that the original chicken sandwich is one of the great sandwiches of all time.
Yes.
And many people on Twitter and the board and various other places agreed with me that one of the great sandwiches in fast food of all time is the original chicken sandwich. And as I've noted many times, it's better when you cut it diagonally. I've had other people confirm that when you cut it diagonally, it does taste better than when you cut it horizontally. I don't know why. It's just a weird fact.
That? Who?
You'll see it on the board tomorrow.
Who could? Yeah, Paul Fontaine.
Get out of here. Now, on a similar note, okay, if you get a Snickers bar, it is a Snickers bar. If you get a king-size Snicker bar, in the old days, it was the Snicker bar on steroids. It was just blown up. But they don't do that anymore. Now, it's 2 Snickers bars that are both thicker. They go end to end in the package. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like 2 dogs in a trench coat.
Exactly, thank you. So the point of this is, Snickers in that shape taste better than the regular Snickers. I'm telling you. So if you plan to eat 2 Snickers over the course of a week, don't buy 2 of the regular bars. Buy 1 king size. They're already molded into 2 separate bars.
Who's eating
each of those
one of those
bars
tiny little Snickers?
Are going to taste better.
I ate 3 after my dinner.
What do you mean tiny little Snickers? I'm not talking about the mini versions. I'm talking about the regular versions.
Yeah, me too.
Versus king sized. Yeah.
I could eat like a 18-incher.
Well, Tom,
Take
you're
the whole thing if I had to.
You're bigger than I am.
Yeah.
In some ways.
There's a hazelnut one as well.
I'll tell you the truth, Tom. I saw it. I didn't buy it.
And then you neglected to mention it.
Oh, I didn't want to mention it.
Well,
but
you were
brought it up.
embarrassed. Huh?
I just don't know. I don't even know what a hazelnut is. I didn't trust it.
Nutella? Have you ever had Nutella?
I actually have, but only the
That's what
chocolate.
it is.
Only the chocolate version.
That's what it is. It's hazelnut and chocolate, you fool.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a Snickers with Nutella, basically.
Maybe I'll go try that one.
Yeah, you should have. I took on fiery espresso, salty and sweet,
Oh God!
as they all teamed up this week to battle my taste buds head on. While each of them are worthy competitors when it comes to ingredients and taste, their small stature left me confident that I could handle whatever they would throw at me. In an unexpected move, they each hurled verbal insults questioning my motives before the battle, as Fiery wondered if I was wimpy. Espresso chimed in to ask if I was irritable, and Salty and Sweet lived up to its namesake and questioned if I was in fact indecisive. I assure you, Brian, that I was none of those, as despite their large caloric stature and such an overall small package, I easily handled them each. As I finished off Fiery, I wondered if the taste of nougat would ever find its seductive mistress, the chili pepper, but it was not to be, as the flame died out and I quickly moved on to the taste of the ever so popular coffee bean. The espresso Snickers lit off with a strong attack, mixing chocolate in its own distinct coffee flavor in complement. But as quickly as it opened, it died, as within 2 bites, I was finished. A supernova of chocolate, peanuts, corn syrup, and coffee gone too soon. I then decided to move on, and without further hesitation, I ate the shit out of that salted caramel one. They were all great. Loved them.
Salted caramel. Does that mean salty and sweet? What's the difference between that and a normal one? It's just it's saltier?
Correct.
I heard my wife. She's a big fan of salt. So overall, thumbs up? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Man, oh man. This was the best one yet, by the way.
Big fan of Snickers. The only
All I had to
thing-
do was like pick one up and buy it. I didn't have to deal with an app. I didn't have to go through a drive-through or go in
You
and
went
talk
to the
to a
grocery
human.
store. Why didn't you just go to the damn gas station like I said? It would
I
be way
actually was
easier.
so lazy, I almost tried to buy single Snickers off Amazon, but they wouldn't sell them to me. Although, believe it or not, if you go to Amazon.com, you can buy a single Snickers bar, but it's like $8 a bar.
So you think the Snickers is the best, huh? You think it's the best out of all like these?
Well, I'm just talking the overall experience. Like, I loved...
No, but I mean,
I loved the
I'm asking
pizza,
about candy bars.
and I loved the Burger King. But yeah, the candy, it's my favorite candy bar. Although,
Really?
there used to be a candy bar that actually, for a short period of time, was my new favorite, but I can't find them anymore. It's called the Big Cat. You remember the Big Cat?
No,
Okay. You know what a Kit Kat is?
correct.
Okay,
yes.
so you break off those 4 little Kit Kat bars. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. So it's one of those little bars blown up to the size of a Snickers.
Yeah, did they sell? Is that who sold it? Kit Kat? I think I've had that.
Well, it used to be called the Big Cat, and then I think they renamed it to something else, but I can't find them anywhere anymore. They were so good.
You know what I love? The Reese's peanut butter cups with Reese's Pieces in them.
I never had those.
Oh,
I do like dark chocolate
so do I.
Reese's peanut
me.
butter cups. You ever had those?
Huh?
Get out of here, you idiot.
I was thinking about something.
Dark chocolate Reese's. They're so good.
Yeah, they are. You're right.
Yeah. So yeah, those are my... There's a dark chocolate Kit Kat, too, which is Vinny's favorite. It's also
Yes.
very good.
That is very good.
Also very good.
That is very good.
But Snickers is my go-to, because you know what, Tom? At the end of the day, it's not just a slogan. It does really satisfy. So I got to give it my highest recommendation. Hey, let's get some plugs in.
Shit.
What do you think of Derek Lewis's
yeah.
promo?
That's right. Yeah. This upcoming Friday night, in Hermiston, Oregon, I will be attending Prestige Wrestling. Come check it out. Then next month, I'll be appearing for MLW in Chicago on, I believe it's November 8th. And that's it for right now. Kind of sucks. Still waiting on this fight thing.
Yeah, it's not happening, is it?
I don't fucking.
I don't even know if the show's happening.
No kidding, right? Like
what's
it's
going
screwing
on?
me over because I got other bookings that I could take. I got people asking me to wrestle for them, and it's like, can't somebody? I don't know.
I don't know either. But on that note, everybody, we're going to wrap it up. Check out @Filthy Tom Lawler on Twitter, @Brian Alvarez. We're here every Wednesday. I'll be back later on tonight with Big Dave Meltzer. Got a lot to talk about. And we shall talk to you again after a while.